everyone, and welcome to the Global Exclusive Podcast. This week, we're just going to kind of stay chill and mellow and talk about the new units, because there's not a lot here to get excited about.
It's too much
joining me
to
this week.
get hyped.
Joining me this week, we have Dream, Barros, and special guest Sinzar.
Oh man, Sinzar, thanks for coming on again.
It's always fun. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it feels like you're kind of like saving the pod from dying, because every time you join it actually is interesting, and then like people actually listen. So it's kind of like it's nice.
Then you definitely picked the wrong week to bring me on.
Yeah,
I don't know, we have so much exciting stuff to talk about. Let's start with this first very interesting unit, Frieza.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? Frieza?
Frisia? Maybe there's a j in there?
That's probably right. I mean, how much do we care about a 7 stars pronunciation?
Listen, Dream. The pronunciation of this unit is literally the most interesting thing about it. Okay, let me have this. Okay. There's one thing I want to say about her. It's fun, or I don't know if I want to say fun, but it's cool that we're going back to kind of spells being more of the kit for a healer, like white magic. So that's nice. But she is very bare bones still, even though she has the better versions of the white spells.
She's like a much worse version of Rena. She has 50% magic mitigation. She has immunities, but it's not like full immunities. She's missing defense and spirit buffs. She's missing charm and stop, and she doesn't have like easy access to AoE re-raise. Like, she has a honor LB, but her LB is expensive, and she doesn't have anything to help fill it. I would say that she's probably like maybe a little worse than Lena or something as a healer. Yeah.
I mean, she does have, like, there's just one unique thing about her, or at least I don't know what people figured out, but there was this theory crafting going on that she could actually do, like, cheese counter strats with units that have a normal attack upgraded to an ability. Was that ever a thing, Sinzar?
She's an arena troll, basically, because, her basic attack is a heal, like an AoE Curaja, and then she will count, like, when allies get hit, that will also trigger her counters. So, like, basically she will top up people's HP just from her counters and then have her actions free.
Yeah, but honestly, when is that relevant in Arena? Arena, I feel, is either you kill the enemy team on your turn, or you kill yourself.
I don't know, if you've got like hyper offensive comps, then it's probably not going to be an issue. But if she is alive, all remaining units will be at full health, basically.
I just feel like that doesn't really happen much unless you're talking about new players. So, and if you're the kind of asshole that wants to screw over new players, there's better ways to do it.
Yes. There's this Kate Sith thing going around, and it's fucking horrible. I'm not even gonna say what it is, because fuck you if you're even considering putting that in your arena team. Okay, I hate you.
Just wait for the AoE chaining auto attacks. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, wait. There are units that get that, right? I've heard about that.
Yes. That's the problem. But on the other hand, Barros, you were the one that wanted a unit whose LB was auto-charged on turn 1 that was AoE death. This was like, I don't know, 20 or 30 episodes ago.
I guess this is on me. It's true. This is on me. This is on me.
Brought this upon us.
Yeah, I did. But it's okay, because like my aspirations in Arena nowadays are so low, so I don't care. So, Sinzar, I was thinking, like, okay, so this unit is, like, literally has no niche, right? Like, is there any reason for having this unit for, like, a future trial for this weird little one trick that you will need to do or something like that?
Not really. I mean, she's a really good healer at, like, topping off your team and all that. She can do it without even wasting her turn. It's just that the rest of her kit doesn't do a whole lot, like, special or unique. That's the problem. Like, she can heal your whole team, but so can like, Summerfina and Lid, while also breaking and imperiling and imbuing and amplifying and, all this other stuff. She, heals and does the absolute bare bones of what a healer does with, re-raise and all that. So, not really.
There is a reason to have her, just not a reason to use her. Because her TM and STMR are still fairly unique at this point. They're Spirit, True Single Wield, so they can help to beef up a tank or something. But I would not pull for her based on that, or based on using her as a healer. She's not bad, but she's not worth it.
I suppose in a strat where you want something external like Golem every turn, then she can be passively topping off the team with her counters.
Yeah,
then using her actual action every turn for Golem.
That was actually a really good point, Dream, because I was just about to say, but what's the point of her not wasting her turn healing when she has literally nothing to do during her turn but to heal, right?
Yeah,
but that's
Golem
a good point.
or Mirage spam, I guess.
Yeah. So she could have 10,000 needles equipped or Golem and just keep spamming that shit constantly, kind of. Or being a support chainer, you equip
still
one of
not
the chain
great.
abilities. Yeah, still not great, but could be done.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot else to say about her, unless somebody else has something.
No. You already mentioned the TMR
much.
I guess she does have 100% AoE LB damage buff, so maybe people will use her in Dark Visions a little bit, but I think we're at the point now that Ibarra is power crept enough, people aren't using her much, and most other units already have LB damage buffs if they want to use their LB, so I'm not even sure who would benefit from that at this point.
Yeah.
Lumine is also a better option that we got for free not long ago.
She also has Faith, right? Or no? No. She has her. She has her cooldown. Yeah.
All right. So the next unit is Ignacio, who now has an NBA.
This makes me so disappointed, Muspel. This is a cool unit, a really buff dude. We need more buff dudes in this game, and they did him so dirty. This, I'm so sad. I am so sad.
I can't believe they didn't have him just completely take off his shirt for his Brave Shift. Instead, he puts on armor.
Exactly. Who the? I need to talk to the design director of this game. He should be shirt off with a raging boner. That's how I would design this unit. Visible raging boner.
We know that's how you would design it, Barrows. You don't have to say that.
No, but I mean, I'm just giving, if Gumi or Alim are listening, I'm just giving them some creative tips for their next unit.
So he now has an AoE fire amp. He's got an axe in peril, 25%, which is maybe the only axe in peril, certainly the best one.
Yeah.
And then
the best and the worst axe in peril in the game.
And then he does some pretty mediocre burst damage. It's a little over half of what Tifa does. So.
Yeah, this is such a shame. I was saying just before the episode, because Ignacio had this thing where when he was released, he was a really cool unit because he could provide some pretty unique support to your team, and then on the chance of an off turn, he could actually burst. Obviously not the hardest in the game, but he could still burst hard. And they took away both roles from him. I mean, obviously he still has his old support kit, which is okay, the AoE imbue and stuff, that's good, but his buffs are now bad, and they didn't give him the burst. So, they changed his role entirely into just a really shitty chainer, honestly. It's he's kind of a really bad version of Envy Rain, is what I'm feeling right now.
I think
if you can take advantage of the axe in peril, he's better than Rain.
Yeah, I guess.
Or take advantage of it on your other
units.
Who
else uses axes other than...
Yeah, who does use axes, actually? What are you going to do?
You
use
can
snow?
Axe in for Esther?
Axstar. Duh. It's
Wait.
right there in his name.
He does, or are you shitting me?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I was just making a pun.
Okay. But is there equipped axe? Could you make a case
it is
for
Lanny's TM.
So could you make a case for obviously equipped gun is always, or equipped bow is going to be 10 times better, but is there a case where you could do equip axe and his STMR, because his STMR got buffed, right?
Equip axe is actually not necessarily worse than equip bow, because the best axe is what, Demon Axe? Actually, maybe Ignatio's STMR.
Well, now it'd be his STMR because that's been buffed to 201 attack now. So
yeah,
it is actually, I think, it's the highest attack weapon with 1.5 variants at least.
Yeah,
but you still have to it's innate fire, so you have to work around that. Yeah. But it can potentially be a good option.
Demon Axe also has some innate killers. I'm not sure. Are there any good one-handed axes? I don't think so.
No.
Nah. So I mean, well, wait, isn't Demon Axe a one-handed axe?
No, it's two-handed.
No, it's two-handed.
According to the wiki, the highest attack one-handed axe has 136 attack.
Yeah. So axes are not meta, is what you could calmly say. I kind of...
If you're a whale that has a couple copies of his STMR and it's like a DV stage with fire, he's not terrible, but he does burst harder than rain, and he'll provide the axe and peril to your party, but I don't think anybody's excited about him.
Yeah. I mean,
also, I will say, we just said who cares about LB damage buffs. I guess he does, because he doesn't have one above 50%. So
yeah,
hooray.
Yeah, but not that his LB mods to begin with are high enough to kind of be interesting either.
It is his biggest burst, but yeah.
Yeah. So here I want to turn to our mastermind Sinzar. Kind of, have you ever used this unit ever on JP after he got released?
Not on the JP server. I actually used him quite a bit during the 7-star meta.
Oh yeah,
He is overall. I mean, if you want to imbue your team with fire and imperil, he's really good because he can dispel the boss and then re-imperil same turn. You have to re-break, of course, and that was relevant for a few trials that buffed themselves. He was a really good option too. I think Demon Wall, I used him a lot to dispel the bosses like Mighty Guard and then re-imperil, etc. The big problem I have with his Neovisions is they never fixed his triple cast. The biggest headache with him is keeping that triple cast unlocked because his kit is split among 2 double cast, but the triple cast is everything. But you've got to waste an action every turn casting, I forget the name of the skill, one of the skills, to keep it unlocked. So he only really has double cast, and if you ever miss a cast, it's set back. And they never fixed that, which is why he's such a headache to use and why I don't like him anymore.
Yeah. No, that's true, because it's triple cast, but in reality, it's actually only just it's actually just an all-inclusive dual cast, because you always spend 1 cast on making sure you get it next turn. That's kind of the deal with it. And it's a shame.
Yeah. But there's one other unit on the banner, unless somebody else has something else to say about Ignatio.
No, just tears.
Yeah, so Melo came out, and I can tell from looking at him that Alan listens to the podcast and took all the wrong messages from it, because his TM and STMR are designed, like we've talked about how it's hard to gear mages for LB damage, and his TM and STMR help with that. But then his kit is the most boring fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, so first I want to say that the obvious pun in the unit's name escaped me entirely until Dream pronounced the name, because for some weird reason it was Melo in my head. But when Dream said Melo, I'm like, now it makes sense.
I wonder who could be responsible for saying Melo.
What do you mean?
Sinzar.
Oh, he is?
That's how I've always said it. I mean, it's only got 1 L, so it's not, That's how you read it.
Yeah, that's actually true. Sinzar is correct, because that's also how I read it, and I am also correct. So fuck you both. But I do get the whole pun.
I do want to talk a little bit about the TM and STMR, just so you don't vote for them.
You do?
They're not great. Since I brought them up already, the Rod is mostly just worse than Delta Star Sakura's. The TM is fine.
Wait, why is it worse?
40k Lapis. Doesn't
I thought the Rod is
have magic?
Yeah, but that magic's
yeah,
easy to
it has higher flat, right?
It's got 20% more LB damage. I think I'm pretty sure Black
exactly.
is only 30%.
Maybe it's not better, but it's not, or maybe it's not worse, but it's not better by enough to be worth it.
Yeah, it's not super powerful. The TMR is actually very good.
All right, does anyone have anything to say about his kit? Anything at all?
I mean,
the answer
really
is no.
tried.
There's nothing to say.
Listen, I really tried. I was reading the unit, and I'm like, what is this unit? Really, what is this unit?
He can do some pretty big burst for DV because you can spend like 3 turns with his shift just spamming this store buff that he's got, the I can't call everything a pain, and effectively get him up to like an 800% magic buff for one ability, and then like cap with his limit burst, using the one use Grandis to buff it.
Yeah. And that's actually a very respectable burst. Like if you use him for that use, it's actually going to do a lot of damage. It's like on par, isn't it on par with like Terra, but can actually use killers?
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on like what sort of killer levels you're comparing to, and what sort of gear level for Terra, but
if you have like 400% killers, it's probably higher than Terra. If you're looking at STMR Terra, then it starts getting muddier. Kind of depends on what kind of gear you have on both units and so on.
Right.
But it's going to be somewhere in the same neighborhood probably.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So the units kit is not interesting. He's a magic damage dealer. CWA has Bolting Strike 2. Nothing really interesting. And, it fits his personality, him being just this lazy-ass dude, like literally my spirit animal.
He couldn't be bothered to get a good kill.
And he couldn't even be bothered to get good animations. Because, okay, so here's the thing. When the unit was released, I always go now into the summon view to just look at this unit because, sometimes it just hypes me up for the unit to just see their kit and animations. That's what happened with the Mazurka. So I just go in there and I'm looking at this unit, I'm like, what the fuck is this unit? The sprite is terrible.
Also,
it's like...
Speaking of Mazurka, I noticed... Two of the Hollow Keepers now just put on hats for their brave shift.
That's true, actually. That's true. He does have like a bit of a Mazurka vibe when he shifts. It's just a much worse sprite.
I just made a very terrible mistake, and I read his background story that's on the wiki. Apparently, body pillows... Yeah?
No, I was going to say, like, what do you mean read it on the wiki? Didn't you enjoy it while playing the game?
No, like his bio. His in-game bio thing.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, body pillows exist within the FFBE universe.
Oh my god, who do you...
Why did they specifically...
Wait, hold on, I have a better question. Now
I'm just disappointed in the
But what's on Rain's
team.
body pillow? Like, what does
Soul.
Rain have as a body...
Yes.
Soul. Yes, I see it. Yes, I see it. But then the question is, who does Laswell have as a body pillow? Right, I'm doing these too easy. Like I don't know. Like I need to do it more difficult. Yeah, I can't think of it more difficult. It's also
what does Sinzar have on his body?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess like wildly he has Hatsune Miku. Oh Sephiroth? Yes, Sephiroth. That's actually also good.
There you go.
Speaking of Sephiroth, Sinzar, did you pull Sephiroth? Is he a good unit in JP?
In the JP server, yes, he is very strong.
I can't wait.
Do you think that's because of conservation of power, that he has so few skills that they have to be powerful?
Yeah, it's kind of like a mixed bag, because on the one hand he is like absurdly strong, like far and away stronger than everything in the game, other than maybe Neovision's Tifa, but he is better than her too. But yeah, his kit is super boring, and I looked at it at first and I was incredibly disappointed because I wanted him to get like a really diverse kit with a lot of support, like his old kit, like he was like the master swordsman. He had like all the chain families. He had, black magic, white magic, just like in the original game. And then this time he's got like one skill. And of course that one skill does like triple everything's damage in the entire game, but it's just boring. Yeah, I'm not happy about that, but I am glad that he is so strong.
But you know what, Sinzar? That kind of... I mean, okay, so we didn't get to see Sephiroth much in FF7R, but I do have more of the feeling that, well, obviously you're not getting to play with him, so you don't... He has no magic. He has nothing. He's just like... he does damage in that game. I'm not gonna spoil where and when, but he does damage in that game. That's all he does. So I'm guessing it's maybe closer to that. I don't know.
But from my very limited knowledge of the remake, it seems ironic that his kid is one-dimensional.
Well, Dream, not bad. Coming with the puns. But yeah, I mean, like, Melo, really nothing more to say. Oh, wait. We did forget the Muspel thing. We should talk about the card, because this is actually a good card.
Oh,
it's Soul's card.
It's Soul's card, but slightly worse.
So it's kind of finally we have two.
We talked about the card now. We can move on.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Basically, the difference is it like auto casts a water amp on the level 10, and any mage that already uses water and is an NV is going to
probably
have
stronger one. But hold on. I do have a question. So Sinzar, this whole weird charging up mechanic where he is buffing his magic up to 500% extra. Did you ever use that in DV and JP, or use it for anything in JP? Like, or do you even have him in JP?
I actually don't have Melo in the JP server, but I do have VV, and he has the same mechanic. He can charge up and unleash his burst on the DV, and yeah, I've used it. It's not that big a deal. It increases his damage, and especially for VV, it's not as big a deal because VV is a quad caster. It only works on the first of his 4 cast. But I mean, it works. It'll increase your damage, just not much. He feels, honestly, to me, a lot like Elfrida, as in a unit where they wanted to sell you the TMR and the STMR, but they didn't really expect you to actually use the unit. Like, you pull them, you STMR Moogle them, and you sit them on the bench.
That is true. It's actually, that's an excellent comparison, Sinzar.
It was all his masterful plan to not have to do work.
And it fits him. Like, he's not an overachiever. This unit is not going to do damage. Like, he wouldn't care enough to do damage. But he is my spirit animal, though. Like, I wouldn't be sad if I pulled this unit.
Yes, we've all been fooled. This is actually
this is peak unit design, probably, actually. Very well done. Bravo, Alim. This was actually well executed.
Speaking of sarcastically telling the Alim they've done a good job, let's talk about the new trial.
Erinyes?
I have no idea. Erinyes is basically identical to the original trial, I think, just higher stats.
I think it's different.
Okay.
Like its resistance.
I just want to say, like, I've grown, like, I've hung out with you, Dream, for like a bit more than a year now, and got to know you a bit, and I just love the Dream.
Unfortunately,
because it's so good. It's like, somebody just fucked up and said something wrong. Because like it's coming to say, let me just correct. Like, you know what I see? I see the whole, like, the meme where, like, boy, where he's like holding his hands in a prayer motion and then he's like flipping them forward. That's what I see. Like, I see Dream like going, no. All right, sorry. Now you can actually say what you were going to say.
Yes.
Yeah, because the original one is like super resistant to the elements that this one is weak to, but otherwise...
Yeah, the actual attack pattern and skills are literally identical, and they didn't even bother changing the boss's offensive imbues, because his imbues, they imbue you to the elements that the boss is originally immune to. And because they swapped his resistances, but he still does the old imbues, which now make no sense. It like imbues you to 2 elements he's weak to, and 1 he's resistant to. It's like, what?
My God.
It's such lazy design. It is literally copy pasted from the old version, and they just didn't even bother to look at his kit. Like, oh, okay, just copy paste it. We're done.
I mean, why did they even change the resistances then? They could have just gone with the original one.
Like, I think this could have been a neat trial if they had tweaked it a little bit. I don't even think it needed a whole lot, just something to make the ailments matter.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I don't know if they can, because, like, it would be a very, like, I've said this before, and I think, Sinzar, you've mentioned it too, like, it would be interesting to have a trial where you actually have to handle ailments, like, where you actually can't be immune to them, and then, like, oh shit, this unit got confused, unit got petrified.
Well, I don't think they should do confusion. I think that confusion
confusion does cost you a turn, yeah.
Well, we've actually had that. For example, the Blood Moon, you can't prevent the confusion. There is no way to prevent it. Now you can,
and that was
you
terrible.
you can fix it with auto med because that cures at the start of your turn, which is how most people did it with Phoenix. Right, but yeah, we've had trials that you straight up cannot stop the ailment. Another one is Shinryu. Like, he's going to petrify you no matter what. You're getting petrified. So they've done that, and I like that. It makes ailments relevant. Other than okay, give everyone a ribbon and you're done. I don't really like that.
Yeah, but I do wish that on those trials, instead of doing dispel buffs, they had done the Tiamat thing where it removes just the immunities. Like, Tiamat removes elemental resist buffs and cover buffs. She doesn't dispel everything. They should use that mechanic more often and for more things.
Mm-mm. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, also, healers are so powerful, though. So, just getting hit by a Petrify, I agree with you, Sinzar. That's actually, I like ailments being relevant, but the problem is that you have probably one or at least two units on your team that can remove it at the blink of a hat, like easy. I don't know. I said at the blink of a hat, so I'm making shit up, but something like it's easy to remove. I would like a trial where curing ailments doesn't work, and then you have to live through the ailments that actually do wear off, like sleep, poison, stuff like that. Silence. Make silence block abilities too. Make silence only allow the unit to do like auto attacks and LBs. Stuff like that.
You're talking about the trial that comes out after next one where that does zombie and you can't cure it. Well, technically you can, but it is always instantly reapplied. Always.
Oh yeah, I love that because I was talking about, hey, I would like this type of trial, and then like literally when the episode came out, like I was getting flooded in the Discord, like people were saying like, yeah, this trial is already out. I don't know, like it's already out on JP. So that was good.
We should probably talk about the trial rewards though from Erinyes, because there's actually a couple of really interesting items here. The first one I want to talk about is the ring from beating it on intermediate, which gives you quad cast black magic.
Oh yeah, this thing is really good.
So
it's also just a very high magic accessory.
Yeah, it's
so
just
not
slightly better. It's just straight up better than Rem's STMR, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Right,
yeah,
because she has 40%, and it says 50-50, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's same flat stats but higher percentages, and then quadruple black magic. And with they made changes to black magic this week, so a lot of the black magic moves now have.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that when
Chaos Wave
talking about
Melo. So this means that you can make any unit a Chaos Wave Awakened support chainer.
Yeah. I was hoping in my mind that this upgrade would somehow make Barbie relevant again, but it didn't. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. It actually the one unit that it does almost help is Lulu, who manages to scrape sort of the bottom of the NV tier barrier and get up to a similar level as Kudra, I think, with her flood boosts and this ring giving her permanent
so can you do some Esper support chaining shenanigans here? Is there an Esper giving you any of the CWA spells?
Yeah, they all. Well, maybe not all of them, but just about every Esper has at least one of the Barga spells that you can. Yeah, you can get. You can get the Holy One from Alexander, although that's white magic, I think. But
Aga, not Barga, but yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Leviathan does.
Aja.
Leviathan does water. I think Phoenix does fire. So yeah, you can get all these from Espers. Also, there's a bunch of gear that does it. Like if you did the Final Fantasy X event a year and a half ago, the Ars Arcana is an amazing rod now, or rod or staff, one of them.
Yeah.
That gives you 4 elements for chaining, and then a bunch of other stuff like the Flame Whip gives you that.
I think, Flame Whip is usually the answer to many things, as we've been taught.
Real quick,
the problem I have with this though is that it means that Tsukiko's TMR is a lot less relevant.
That is true.
That is true.
There's one thing I want to point out. For people
Sylvie.
using this as a support chain in Dark Visions, which is a great idea, all the regular black magic is AoE, which is a problem, but Comet is single target. So if you're looking for a way to do a long chain in Dark Visions on a support unit, give them the elemental Barga spell to start the chain, And then for like the second, third, and fourth cast, use Comet, and that will not break in Dark Vision. And you can still get a quad cast Chaos Wave Awakened that won't break by using Comet. That's Galoof's TMR.
Oh, that's really good to know. That feels like a hot tip. So you would use the elemental ability first, kind of to just build the chain faster, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Comet's a spell material, that will require like the unit to have high enough black magic level, right? Like this is like the one time in 4.5 years that this mechanic's been relevant.
Yeah, it doesn't come up very often, but for those that aren't aware of this, which I would imagine some people aren't, especially if they're newer, units have like built-in magic affinities that normally don't matter for anything, but they affect what kind of white, black, or green magic materia you can equip. So in this case, a unit needs to have black magic affinity 5 or higher to use Galoof's TM.
Right. And that's actually fairly rare. Or sometimes
mages will generally have it. Support units.
It's rare on non-mages.
Kind of hit or miss. Some of them have it, some don't.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like Erinyes is really a shame that they didn't do anything interesting here, to actually do something fun here, to kind of have you, oh no, a unit is charmed, or well, charm actually, but again, you can just immune it. I don't know.
But yeah, basically have a provoker that's like evade, stop, and charm immune. Have a magic cover tank with water, wind, or water, light, and dark resist. Doesn't need to account for imperils. And then just chain it down with basically Physalis, Shui, or Dark
One
Fear
thing. One thing I can say about the trial is, while it is super easy, it's also like extremely bulky. For like, veteran players with the perfect units, it's going to take like between 5 to 8 turns usually. But I've seen like lots of players, even really well geared players that don't like have Shui or Physalis or something, taking like 20 to 30 turns. That's not a problem because there's no turn limit mission. But, for most people that don't have a really established account, it's going to be kind of like a slowish slog to clear this fight.
Hey, so Sinzar, it sounds like the great opportunity to do a Sephiroth video on Erinyes and JP, because it's so bulky.
I already did that. I did.
Okay, I haven't actually checked. All right.
Sephiroth killed it in 3 turns by himself. 1 Sephiroth.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Wow, that's power creep though. So you're saying that now... Okay, hold on. Take a fucking step back. So you're saying that now, people that don't have the obvious go-to units, which is Shueyu or Physalis, are kind of taking 20-30 turns, right? 20-30 turns of a well-geared unit with a partner, so doing 4x damage, right? But you're saying that a single Sephiroth did it in 3 turns. Like, what the fuck? Was that? That can't be right.
That is power creep.
I mean, that's 10 times. No, that's 20 times the power. Because he's not chaining with anyone either. So it's like, right? You're not chaining him?
Well, it's finishing support chains.
So it's 10 times higher power. Jesus. That is ridiculous. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's also kind of like front-loading burst with LBs and stuff. So it's like not exactly representative of like DPT over a longer fight.
It's quite a lot of power.
Because Erinyes is like takes twice as much damage from magic as it does physical.
Even that.
Defensive stats.
Oh my god. Alright.
Yeah.
But I mean, people should definitely pick up the ring, and I like this trend of kind of the good gear being on the intermediate difficulty, because even though like that's not going to be a stroll in the park for a new player either, you're still going to have at least a friend unit, but I like that. It's making it a bit more approachable, and you get these DV items as the advance reward, because there's this materia that's actually pretty decent. It has like undead killer, right?
Yeah, it's nice to actually have a couple of good rewards.
So yeah, hey, that's it for this week, right? Because I have a thing I want to just, Yeah, that's content. So I have this thing, like, Muspel is probably going to cut me off soon, but...
real quick, Barrows, if I can jump in. One more thing I want to point out for people, especially for, like, newer players, is the Frieza's hood from the craftable. You really want to spend the energy to craft a minimum of 2 of those. So you might have to rerun the story event or the daily more than just the once a day to get a second hood crafted within the 2 weeks. But it's basically like a magic true dual wield, which is pretty rare, and it's a really good source of it. So definitely craft the minimum of 2 or maybe more if you feel like spending the energy.
Yeah, it's like
it's nearly as good as Ravenheart.
Wow, I did not know
the
that.
Magic
Holy
half
shit!
of
So now I need to like run the story event one more time, I guess, or something.
Yeah,
like that.
for those who are just listening and don't have the wiki up, it has 39 magic, 39 spirit, 20% resist to water and dark, and 50% magic true dual wield.
Wow, that is actually
an
very
accessory.
Strong.
Like this is the kind of accessibility I want to see on magic true dual wield gear. Except I also want it to be as like non-event items, so that people who missed this event also have the option for
limited.
it.
Yeah. But that's really nice. I had no idea, so now I'm gonna need to run the story event a couple of more times, or once, or something. I don't know. Does anyone know how many times more you need to run it if you do all the dailies?
Yeah. I don't know if it's better to actually like rerun the story event itself or the like just the daily crafting.
It's kind of a hit or miss. There's benefits to both. If you're going for pure energy efficiency, running stage 2 of the story over and over is the best drop rate per energy. That's 1 drop rate per 5 energy spent. It's 10 energy, but that's going to take you like because of all the loading screens, the cutscenes, it takes you like 5 to 10 minutes per run. So it's cheap, but it takes forever. Now, if you want to just get it done quick and spend more energy, then rerunning the daily stage takes 20 seconds, but it costs a lot more energy per material.
Right.
Yeah, that's like 30 per one of each, so that's like, what, 6 times as much?
It's kind of like,
but who
what's your
doesn't
value?
have thousands of energy pots by now?
Might be worth
I don't, motherfucker. I don't. I have like 5.
aside from Barrows, who somehow never has any, and I still don't know how that's possible. Who doesn't have thousands of them?
But what if you're saving your energy pots?
I have
for Chronicle
5,000
battles,
of them.
which
Okay,
will
I'm not
probably
too
be here very
worried.
soon.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, that'll last you maybe what, like 2 Chronicle
I can't
weapon
imagine
farms?
that it takes 50,000 energy to make a weapon.
Well, hey, maybe you should start imagining, I guess. Wow, I need to start doing the fucking daily free rolls to get more energy pots, because like I can see how much of a pain this is gonna be. Okay. Yeah. But here, before we end this episode, I really want to just, I've been complaining a couple of times on this podcast saying like, hey, I don't understand why ALIM have to introduce huge power creep. And again, I raged out or got reminded about it with the new Final Fantasy VII remake units in JP that Sinzar pulled a Sephiroth off. Yeah, he went for an EX3, big dick Sephiroth. And, okay, so why do they do this? Like, why do they need to put this power creep? I always ask myself, why? Because other games don't. And then I realized it. I have realized it. I know it now. I know why. It's because they can't put as many tits on a tiny sprite.
Okay,
that's the thing.
That's our episode for this week, everybody.
No. Listen. This makes sense. Because in other games, like, fucking waifus and husbandos sell. Yeah, where here,
PNGs.
You can't, like, the tiny sprite is not enough sex appeal to sell on its own, so they add sex appeal through power creep. I figured it out. That's it. Am I right? Yeah, I know.
I hate
fucking
that you
hell.
are kind of
I know. And now it makes sense, so now I can't be mad about it anymore. Fuck. See you all next week, fuckers.